So I want to start off the meeting with, well, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I don't, Braden doesn't know about this, so this will be a little bit of a surprise.
This is a surprise. I didn't know we had a guest today. I was wondering
Yeah,
what.
man, I'll text you if we don't.
I assume
Ryan?
that's my cue. Thank you, Dan.
Yes.
Hi,
Oh,
Hey, Ryan.
everyone. I'm Ryan. I am honestly, I'm 3 months into being with EXP. Super excited about that. So much has happened in 3 months. I can't even begin to explain. And so, yeah, I've been working with Braden on, building funnels out, and magic has been happening in, the last month. And that's what we'll be talking about today.
That is awesome. So I usually edify and start off introducing you, but then I learned a little bit of this from James, is that, it's better coming from you, right? So, but I enjoyed our conversations, recently, and then today. How long have you been licensed? Tell me that.
A year. I had my license May of last year.
Okay, and then with EXP, 4 months maybe.
Well, I feel like it's been three. Time has been
Three.
flying. It's about three
Yeah.
months or so. I'm
Okay,
still a baby.
and these answers don't matter. I'm just trying to help the folks that are on now, and then also for the recording. But and did you do any deals at your previous company?
No, the short version is that my first year, I did a lot of rental deals. I don't know, maybe 40 or so, a lot of open
Yeah. Wow.
houses. Yeah. And I still do.
Cool.
I still work with renters. I do still love working with them. I didn't do any deals until I got here.
Good for you. Well, and it's not really about EXP, but I appreciate you saying that. So the cool thing about rentals is, and when I coach agents, I will tell them, hey, if you can do that and want to do that, especially in the beginning, that is a great way to lay a foundation and build
Yeah.
a business. Because typically speaking, if you have a decent marketing strategy, and it could be something as simple as a newsletter, and reach out to your past renters, a lot of those people sooner or later will buy a house,
Hmm.
and then they'll usually buy another house, and then they'll tell you about their friends that are buying a house.
That's
So
right.
that's pretty cool. And then I think when we talked, it looked like you'd been doing the funnels about 30 to 60 days.
Yeah, I would say about 2 months or so.
Okay, and you just got one under contract.
I did. So as of what's today? Today's Wednesday. I would say Monday we went under contract on it's my second deal. The first deal came from a rental client,
There you
which
go.
is
Yep.
awesome. Love building those relationships. And then Monday we went under contract from a client that I got off the rental. I mean, excuse me, from the funnel. And we will
Okay.
be listing her home. So it's a double opportunity I'm excited about.
So that's exciting. So tell me the price point on the contract.
494, 950.
Yeah, so when we talked earlier today, that will pay for a year's plus of ad spend. So what I
That's
did in
right.
your situation about 15 years ago is I had that happen, kind of similar to that. And then what I did was I paid off my credit card for the 2 months for my ad spend, and then I set several months ahead, and then I've been free rolling ever since. So yeah, but luckily I had the discipline to set a little bit of the money ahead for the month. And then, I think the next month I had to close it the next month. And I did the same thing. I took a little bit each time. And then my goal was to get a year ahead on my bills. And then magical things happened because then I truly could communicate to the client without any concern on their part that I didn't have to sell you this house to pay my bills.
Mhm.
Right. I want to sell you a house and I need to sell houses to pay my bills, but you don't have to buy this house.
Right.
Right. And so everything kind of changes when you get there. Um, okay, so that's pretty
The,
cool. And then
what's the
so
listing? What is it going to be priced at? Do you know?
yeah, tell them that.
Oh, I didn't hear that. What'd you say, Braden?
What? So you said you put one under contract at like what, 494, and then what was they had a listing that they're going to sell as well?
Yeah, so we haven't even gotten that far yet. We're supposed to close around November 20th. We're very new in the stages of the conversation about listing the home. She was considering possibly renting it, but most likely she's going to want to sell it. So that will be in the conversation to come. However, as of yesterday, I have a listing appointment from someone who came from the funnel. My listing appointment is next week, so this is the second opportunity. And as of about 5 minutes ago, I'm now getting someone pre-approved from someone from the funnel on a purchase opportunity. So God is
There
good.
you go. You're doing the work.
That's
That's
right.
awesome.
That's right. And I'm not doing it perfectly. Braden, you gave us a process and I follow the process to the best of my ability. But realistically speaking, there's only so much time in the day, right? And so I don't do this process perfectly. In the very beginning, full transparency, it was slow. I mean, it was a really slow engagement. Folks weren't really responding. It was a little trickle here and there. But over time, I didn't stop it, right? Because obviously we can get a little discouraged because where's everybody at? Why they're not, we're paying and we're not getting engagement. And I really was following the process in the very beginning to a T. And but I refused to get discouraged, just kept it going. And I would say, what, we're 2 months in now, and now I'm getting more engagement. Also, the numbers are higher, cost per lead, which I'm sure we'll get to that, is awesome. And I'm starting to get a lot more engagement. Could be because obviously the rates have dropped. People are more interested in seeing what they can, what they can do. Also, all the glory goes to him. So that's a whole other conversation. But yes, all good things.
And my last question, maybe, and then we'll let Braden take over, is how cool was it, or in the very beginning, and be super transparent if you don't mind, but like
Yes.
when we said, hey, we got this guy and he's going to do this, and he's going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do all this stuff for you. So a little bit of that sounds kind of too good to be true, right? That you're going to have someone one-on-one to actually build your funnels, do all the tech stuff, then hold your hand, walk you through the process, tell you what you're doing right and wrong. And I find some agents that are probably like, you really going to do all that for us? So talk just a little bit about that, and then we'll turn it over to Brady.
It's funny. Before I got here, I actually went through a third party who also did the same thing. They built the funnels. They charged me an arm and a leg to do so. They were helping me to manage it. And I don't know, I had like 300 leads or so and like zero engagement. I don't know if it was the lingo or, I mean, obviously I take accountability for not being on top of things the way I'm sure I could have been, but ultimately when I got here and the conversation was kind of the same in that you're going to help me do this and you're going to build the funnels and you're going to, kind of create the opportunity. And I was a little leery at first because I had heard it before and I had spent a ton of money before. But my spirit said, let's try it again. Let's try it again. And ultimately it was a completely different experience. So I don't know, when I first, the whole reason why I came to EXP really was, and I know this is brand agnostic, but the whole reason why I got here was simply, how I was introduced was that I was looking for opportunity to learn how to build my own funnels so I can figure it out, so I can save some money. And that's how I got partnered with Andre, because he gave me some options. Hey, we can help you build them out and we can do all the things, or you can partner with us and you get honestly all of this and some, and systems and opportunity and collaboration and all the things for nothing, right? And so that seemed like a great opportunity, but I still needed to talk to some folks. I needed to get some reviews from some real folks that would be transparent about their experience, right? Because I didn't know you from a can of paint. So I need to hear from people like me who were, just coming in and didn't really know, what was everyone else's experience. And so shout out to Andre for patient, patient with me, giving me all the referrals that I needed so I could feel confident.
Andre's a good student as well. So that's
yeah, Andre's awesome.
We're grateful. All right, Braden, enough of me. And I do have a hard stop at 2:00, but I appreciate you hopping on. Appreciate you too. And thanks everyone. And thanks for adding value to our funnel group. So that's awesome.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do want to take a look at our numbers. Ryen, if you don't mind, can you share your screen and let's just kind of talk through the numbers and really kind of see where we're at ROI wise, just so we can have an understanding of that. And then I'll ask you a couple questions and we'll go from there. All right, let me request remote control access. If somebody will.
Oh, here we go. I got you. There you are.
Approve that. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So on this one, so we were $10 a day, right? We generated 158 leads. We're at a $2.97 cost per lead, right? And so you said you've got one that's already under contract, right? That was, I think, what, $494 with a potential listing on the back end of that, right? And then And do you know what that would be listed at if they end up listing it instead of renting it?
Yeah, it'll likely somewhere between 390, 410 in that range.
Gotcha. So almost a million in volume there. And then what is that pre-approval you just got, you said?
So the someone had came through on the funnel, I want to say Tuesday. We keep missing each other, but I gave her a call today. She called me back, and ultimately he just sold a home in her condo in the Philippines, and she's looking to buy. She's a renter right now and wants to purchase. So I'm connecting her with my preferred lender, and they're getting pre-approved today.
Gotcha. Do you know what that pre-approval will be at?
I really don't know. I really don't know. But I expect it'll be likely in the 400s.
Gotcha. So one under contract at almost 5, another potential listing at 4s. That's, we're sitting pretty much almost 1.4, 1.5. And then you said you've got another listing appointment coming up, right? Do you know what that one's?
So that one is that's also going to be in the mid fours, close to 5, somewhere around there. And
Gotcha.
and that's going to be it's a double-ended deal too. So we should be buying her something contingent on sale.
Gotcha. So somewhere between, 2 and 2.5 million probably in volume, just from what you've got going on so far
Mm-hmm.
in the first. And so we spent a total of $468 here. I know we did run that other funnel in the beginning,
The Las Vegas one.
which I don't think we ran it very long. We had to kind of transition there.
Right. That's the one right under Summerlin.
So what is that? $600 in? Yeah, because we're 2 months. You said, I think, right? We're 2 months in.
I want to say, yeah. And I feel like it's been about 2.
2 months in. So two months in, right around that $600, $300 a month, ad spend, 600 total, and almost potentially 2.5 in volume. So that's pretty good. Pretty good return on investment there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, can't complain. Do you think you have there anything else that you're working from the leads outside of those 4 deals?
As I mentioned earlier, I am still working through the new leads. I feel like I have at least 15 or 20 people that I still have to make contact with. As a matter of fact, one of the folks that I reached out to, I feel like he just called me back a little while ago. So I need to, anyone who calls back is a beautiful thing. So yes.
Right on. So before split, I'm just going to call it, we'll call it 2.3 million, just conservative, 3%. That's before split, almost 70 grand there, on a $600 investment. So, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff.
Such a blessing.
Yeah, it is. And there'll be a lot of stuff that'll also probably surface from these leads that, kind of, I don't know if what the response ended up looking like, or, when we sent out that mass text, but, we did do that the other day, jumped on, sent a mass text out. And I recommend doing that, like I've said, every 2 to 3 weeks, as you get down the pipeline or the time frame of, people coming in and then sitting, and, we've been sitting on properties. They should be on a market report. As we get further along, you should start to see some of those leads from the beginning start to become a little more responsive. So making sure you're always sending out, a mass text and a mass email every 2 to 3 weeks is definitely a good idea. The question I like to ask, if you're, were to say one thing, point to one thing, that you would want to hear, or what you feel like you should have heard. Maybe you're looking at doing this, or just starting to do this, or maybe you've been doing this and not having as much success. What would you point to in terms of kind of what's been the game changer of it in terms of the conversion side of things for you?
Consistency on my end. And so what does that look like? It's making the phone calls. And again, I'm not doing this perfectly, but I have been making phone calls. Have I called every single person? Absolutely not. But I'm calling way more people than I did in the very beginning when I was not successful. It's the phone calls, it's the text messages, and honestly, just keep going, just keep going. Sometimes it just takes more time and confidence that we can get it done, and we can discourage ourselves. I can discourage myself a lot of times, and ultimately it ends up in me not doing the work. So if I do the work and I'm consistent in the work, then I'm seeing results.
That's what I had a call yesterday with an agent, and I was kind of explaining that to them, which was, when this typically, pans out on an average of 2 to 3 deals out of 100 that you're going to end up probably doing a deal with. And the thing about that is we don't know if that's going to come in the first week or the second week of the month or the third week or the fourth week, right? We don't really know when those leads that are going to be responsive or when in that 30 days those leads are going to come in. And so I think we had 15 leads come in on like a 3-day review, which she had a really good cost per lead, like $2 something. And was kind of getting a little discouraged there. And that's what I see happen. I see agents that, whether they're getting a good cost per lead or they're not, it's not the greatest. In the beginning, if the response is not there, and they may be following the process to a T, but if the response is not there and they're not getting the engagement, they quit staying consistent, they quit following the process, and they kind of give up on it. And that's kind of the one thing you can't do. This is something you really got to commit to at least 30 days of following the process, staying consistent day in and day out. And if you do that, the averages always pan out to be what they are, which is, 2 to 3 deals you should expect from this in a 30-day period. And it's funny, but it's just the truth is every agent that we've had on here to do a review with, they say the same thing, which is making the calls. And so I have a lot of agents that also like to rely on automation and, the system to do a lot of the heavy lifting, which it will, right? It'll do the texting out of the gate, sending the search alerts and things of that nature. But to really cultivate relationships with people, you got to make the calls, right? And so we should be leveraging the system and the automation to get engagement from leads. And in my opinion, get the leads that are going to raise their hand, that are more open to having the conversation for us to make that call. But at the end of the day, we still have to make those calls, right? We still have to engage with the leads. We still have to cultivate relationships and consistently follow the process day in and day out. And so it's inevitable that's what, the driving factor is for the agents that are doing deals. So
possible. I did not think it was, I got to the point where I didn't even think it was possible. I thought it was all a sham, right? Because I'm spending all this money and I feel like I'm doing the work, but I wasn't really completely doing the work and I wasn't seeing the results. But it is possible. And I'm making the phone calls, I'm leaving a voicemail, I'm shooting them a text. I haven't even started. Andre had recommended I start sending video messages. I haven't even gotten into that yet. Like imagine when I really start like getting into all the systems and all the possibilities and all the things that we can do to really get engagement, So,
yeah.
It actually gets easier after a while too. I mean, in the beginning, you got to fight through till you get to some traction. But like Sharon, she's actually in Russia right now. She's having a lot of success with the funnels. And what she's doing is her listings. She does an open house. So not too long ago, she said, "Well, I have 3 listings, and all 3 are buyers, and an additional buyer because I did an open house for one of my listing and picked up a buyer, and the listing came through the funnel." So it really does get a little bit easier. And as the market, like if you can get in a good position now as the market continues to get better, then it'll either be a little bit easier or there'll be more closings, more business for you. And I was at a dinner 2-3 nights ago, like a meeting, and a guy there was running late because he was on his 83rd deal for the year. So there is plenty of business going on out there.
Yep. Cool. Well, anything else, Ryan, you want to share? Share with the agents on here?
I mean, other than the fact that it is possible, we have to do the work and stay consistent. And more importantly, it is a mindset shift. And believing that we can get it done and making time and making certain time non-negotiables, because I get lost in the sauce all the time about all the, with all the different things and the trainings and the calls and the Zooms and the, running out to meet folks. And this always falls to the wayside. And by this, I mean making the phone calls and trying to, engage with my people or that will potentially be my people, right? It'll fall way to the end of the to-do list. And so I have been making this a non-negotiable and adding it into my time. Do I do this perfectly? No, I'm gonna make this clear. I don't, but I do get it done. And so I'm seeing results because of it. So we got this, y'all. We got this.
One thing I say, guys, is that, in the beginning, yes, we are learning a new process more than likely. We may not be very familiar with using KB Core and how to use the functionalities. But as you're starting to learn that, you really need to learn, where, and I just call it time blocking, where in your calendar are you setting time aside to ensure that these things are getting done? Are we setting enough time aside each day? And we've gone through the priority list of what you should be focused on day in and day out before. I don't know if we want to go over it again, but if you will time block these things into your calendar realistically, from the start of the day to the end, maybe 2 hours a day is really all you need for this. And you could probably get away with less than that if you're not making a ton of phone calls. Now, obviously, I'm going to recommend the more calls you make, the better your results will be. But in terms of just doing the daily process of following up with, leads, completing your task, setting the next task, any new leads that come in, you're looking at maybe an hour or two a day, but it's real easy to say that's an hour or two a day and it never get done if you don't set time aside to do it, right? Because like she said, there's going to be things that come up. You've got other things going on, and it's real easy to kind of say, oh, well, I'll get to those tasks later, or I'll get to those follow-ups later, or I'll make a call later, and later turns to tomorrow, and tomorrow turns to next week, and next week turns to next month, and it never happens. And so I'm really big on time blocking. Just about every waking hour of my day is time blocked from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, to be able to make sure that I'm utilizing every hour possible. And so that's, in my opinion, the best way to go about this is setting those time blocks in your calendar. A, you should be working by a calendar. If you're not, I would start doing that. But two, making sure you're getting those time blocks in there on when you're going to be doing these different activities that go along with the priority list in the process.
And Ryan had to step away, so I think I asked her for 20 minutes, so I'm super grateful for that. I did put a link to a YouTube channel that I have in there for videos, and then my VA does send out playlist to clients that click on that we can't get in touch with, to get them to maybe know, like, and trust me a little bit, and then reach back out to me. So that's kind of like the next step to some of these strategies that you all be doing here as you get deeper in the funnels. But hey, Braden, I appreciate you. I'm going to let you finish up with any Q&A. I'm hop on this coaching call I have. And if anybody needs me, just reach out.
Thanks, Dan.
Cool.
Thank you.
We'll do a little Q&A. Anybody got any questions, got anything? If not, we'll wrap it up. But if we got any questions, now would be a good time. If you want to put it in the chat box or unmute yourself.
Hey, Braden.
But I'm going to save mine for Monday. I have a spot with you on Monday, so.
Okay.
I have a question, and I'm not sure if this isn't the right place to ask it. Just say so.
Yep.
Because I've ran some ads, and then my account got hacked, and of course, charges charged to it, and so I've shut down those cards, and I'm just leery about getting started again. Any insight or suggestions on how to get things started back again?
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. If you've been hacked, okay, there's really no way to get hacked unless, essentially someone has figured out your password. And what I've seen, I'm just going to say this, and what I've seen before is, people get messages that, click on this, your ad is whatever. I don't even know how they say it because I don't pay attention to them. But one thing to be wary about is, don't go be putting your information into anything. If it doesn't look like it came directly from Facebook, I don't even, if if it's not directly from Facebook, don't worry about it. It's a lot of spam out there trying to hack into accounts. And if they get into your account, they're going to run your stuff up. Now, hopefully you've done what you needed to do to get that taken care of in terms with your credit card company, and Facebook of making sure that you're reimbursed for whatever was charged. In terms of being leery and getting started again, obviously that wasn't ideal that happened, but every day we're not generating leads is every day that we're potentially missing out on opportunity. I'm always going to say, let's get it back rolling. Let's get it going, kick it back on. Right. And just make sure that we don't do anything that could potentially get it hacked again. And that could be like putting the 2-factor authentication on there. That's a big thing that can help not get your account hacked is having that 2-factor authentication, which I don't know if it was on there or not. I would assume it wasn't, seeing how it got hacked, because I think they either have to do a text code or an email code to be able to get into that. But anywho, in terms of getting it back on again, we just need to get you on the calendar if you're wanting to do it, and that would be my recommendation. Is getting a call booked or shoot me a text, and we can find a time to jump on next week and get it back rolling.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? I thought I saw. Oh, no. Nope, I think that's it. All right. Well, if that's all we got, James, that's I think that'll cover for today. I appreciate everybody jumping on as always. If you need me, you should be able to get in touch with me. You probably got my phone number, or you got my email, or you got my calendar link, one of them. If not, get with James or get with Dan. He can get it to you. But I think that's all I've got.
Congratulations, Ryan, for just following the process and getting some deals under contract.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Appreciate you. If I can make one recommendation that has been huge for me, find some folks that you align with and create an accountability group. That's what we did, Kim. Thank you I love seeing your face. She's a part of the accountability group, and we just keep each other accountable. Text messages, calls, just making, help motivate each other, because it gets hard sometimes doing this thing, as I'm sure you all know.
100%. That's awesome, man. Yeah, if you can find an accountability, I'm big on that. Especially being in the gym space, right? Having an accountability partner is probably the one thing that I would say in really any aspect or any industry. If you can find somebody that is on the same mission as you, that'll help hold you accountable, it's definitely a game changer on those days that you don't want to do it, you don't feel like doing it, or you're feeling discouraged, because more than likely somebody's having some wins, and that's going to encourage you to keep going. So 100%, if you can find that, definitely get involved with it. And that may go to the point of maybe us coming up with some type of an accountability group, James, where we can kind of offer that in some fashion. Not sure exactly what that would look like, but cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. As always, follow the process. If you're not getting the conversion, I say this on a lot of my calls, but if we're not getting the conversion we expected, I would always err on the side of, and I do it myself, where am I wrong, right? What am I not doing correctly, or what could I be doing better? And I think as time goes on, it's always good to kind of go back. You may be 30 days in, 60 days in, even 3 months in, go back and watch the conversion video again, and you may see something that you're slacking on or not doing the best at, or could be doing better at, or, oh, I should have been doing that. So there may be some pieces that you're missing here and there that you may not even know you're missing. So always going back to that conversion process video, following that as best you can, and the best practices document as well. So that's all I've got, James. If you don't got anything, I think that's it. And we'll see y'all next week.
Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good weekend.
Bye.
Later.
Everyone.
Thank you for hopping on the webinar today with Braden Kinder, James Massey, and myself. What I'd like for you to do, if you want to, is hop on my calendar for about a 10-15 minute. I block off 20 minutes on the call, but it's usually like 5-10 minute call, a strategy call. Be happy to answer any questions, tell you exactly how the program works, tell you about the free version, the low cost version, and well, it's the no cost. I don't like saying free, but no cost version, low cost version, and then how we can help you with consistent lead flow, consistent, predictable closings, adding about 1 to 2 closings additional to what you're doing a month to your pipelines. Very realistic. A lot more to the program than we talked about today in the meeting. We also have weekly trainings. We have one-on-one. We have call groups. We have anything and everything you need to help you to be successful in this market and just to thrive. So give me a call, you can give me a call, 678-907-1853. Or hop on my calendar. You can scan the QR code or just go to dansleadsclass.com/call. Schedule a call. Happy to talk to you, see if I can help you in your real estate business. And glad to help you any way I can. So hop on my calendar or give me a call. Talk to you soon.